Hi guys, my name's Dr. Stout and I am one of your assistant principals.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Nicks and I'm the other assistant principal here at Joel.
We have a code of conduct presentation ready for you today, so let's get our screen ready for you and Miss Nix is going to start us off.
We have a Joel expectations for behavior, and most of these expectations are rules that we've set here at Joel, or they are coming directly from the Texas state laws and our district code of conduct. We want to follow the pause here at Joel. We are always positive. We are accountable for our behavior. We need to always be willing to do our best so that we can all be successful. One of the expectations that we have here at Joel is to use kind, school-appropriate words, including anything that you post on social media. Boys and girls, it's very important to use kind language when we're talking to each other, and we want you to know that your words matter.
Any kind will be taken seriously. If you state that you want to harm yourself or anyone in this building, your parents will be notified and you may have a serious consequence. To say you were kidding or didn't mean it will not get you out of the process of the investigation and us calling your parents. You must choose your words carefully. Anytime there's a threat that's said, Miss Nix and I and Miss Evans and Miss Layton and Miss Criswell, we have about 6 different pages of paperwork that we have to fill out for anything that you say that might be a threat to someone else. So even if you're kidding, you need to choose different words and kid in a different way.
You need to always use a respectful tone and body language with adults and immediately follow their directions. That would be using a calm voice and looking at the adult when you're talking to them.
And like Ms. Nick said, talking to adults is very important as well as talking to your friends. And we want you to talk at appropriate times. Your teachers are always going to let you know what those appropriate times are, so just follow their directions.
We need to always listen to the teacher and know when it's okay to move around the room. Each teacher has their own expectations for their classroom. Most teachers want you to raise their hand and ask permission to get out of your seat. So make sure you know when it's okay to move around the room.
Passing any kind of note is unacceptable. We do that with the U.S. Postal Service, and we are a school. We are not a mail delivery system. So we make sure and we don't ever pass any kind of note to any students at all.
Leave all your toys, any kind of recess balls that you want to play with, lighters, any kind of weapon, including knives, at home, boys and girls. These are all things that can get you in trouble here at school. We have recess equipment for you to play with, so use what we provide for you here at school.
Cell phones must stay in your backpack and be turned off unless the teacher asks you to take it out.
When you're coming to school and the weather gets colder, you might have a jacket with a hoodie on it. The hoodie has to stay off in the building. We do not allow hoodies on in the building. When you bring your cell phones to school, they have to be off, as Dr. Stout just said. And that includes not having earphones or earbuds in your ears. That's not acceptable, or any kind of headsets. They're not allowed in the building.
This is a big one, boys and girls. Vaping and smoking are not allowed at Joel Elementary. You can't do it on the bus. You can't do it at a bus stop. You're not allowed to have any of these devices at school. This is becoming a really big problem for a lot of students in our district. And we want to let you know, no matter what an older student or an older friend will tell you, these are very dangerous things for you to have. They might tell you, oh, it's just fruit juice, or oh, it smells like candy, so it's just candy. It is not. Boys and girls, that is serious stuff that's inside those e-cigarettes or those Juuls or those vapes. You may not use them. They are not appropriate for kids. And if you see someone with it, we need you to tell your teacher immediately. And if you have an older friend who tries to give you one, we need you to tell a grown-up immediately. No matter what an older friend tells you, these are very dangerous for our Joel Jaguars. So please make sure and do not bring them to school and don't even use them yourselves at home. We are very worried. Never use these. They are not meant for us.
Boys and girls, just like you learned in kindergarten, those same rule applies that you always keep your hands, your feet, and other objects to yourself. That's for safety.
Report any unsafe or destructive behavior to your teacher immediately. You will never get in trouble for reporting something. You always need to tell a grown-up around you, a teacher, an assistant principal, a counselor. If you see something unsafe, tell someone as soon as you see it. We would love to help you, and you will never be in trouble.
Accidentally bump into somebody, like,
Oh,
oh, excuse me, Dr. Stout, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean
it's
to bump
okay.
into you.
I accept your apology.
Please let them know that you're sorry. So oftentimes we have misunderstandings and miscommunications, and we don't wait for the person to apologize. Sometimes we forget to apologize or we're embarrassed and we don't apologize. But make sure that person, if you accidentally bump, you know, walk by someone and accidentally kick them, that you let them know that that was a mistake. It was an accident, so they don't get upset with you and then have another repercussion where they maybe want to turn around and hit you. Okay. If you're the person that gets bumped or hit, don't automatically assume that somebody was trying to harm you. Okay. Sometimes accidents happen.
Absolutely. Please remember, Jaguars, you are responsible for your actions. You are in control of you. And Miss Nicks and I and Miss Layton and Miss Evans and Miss Criswell, we are here for you. We are helping you with anything you need. All right, we have some other notes to share with you. Playground and cafeteria procedures. By this point, you've been in lunch for quite a while, and you know that we use different hand signals for your different needs in the lunchroom. We help Miss Jackie by keeping our cafeteria as clean as possible. You are welcome to throw away your trash, of course, and as you're throwing away trash, looking on the floor to make sure that all the other trash that may have floated off of a tray or fallen off of the table, that you're picking those items up as well. We also know that we keep our knees under the table and we use a neighbor voice when we're talking at the cafeteria tables, which means you can talk to someone in front of you or someone beside you, but no one that's farther away than that should be able to hear your conversation. And on the playground, your teachers have already gone over what you're supposed to do with all of your recess equipment. And they have also taught you the different whistle signals that they use. The one whistle means that you go down on one knee and you stop playing and you go down on one knee and you look to a teacher. And the two whistles mean that there's a class that's going to line up. And if you hear a lot of whistles, that means everybody get in the building as fast as possible. So make sure you're paying attention to your teachers for those procedures.
Girls, you should have seen a bus video by now to show you the proper procedures for getting on the bus. You need to make sure that you have your Zone R card. When you swipe it when you get on the bus, you go sit in your seat. Your backpack should be in your lap, and you should be facing straight forward. Pockets on the seat at all times. When you're ready to get off the bus, you wait patiently for your turn to exit the bus. You swipe your card again, and you watch as you get off the bus for other traffic. We want you to be safe on the bus.
Badges, you have to have your badge for lunch. We also have visitors that come to our building that have their own special badges, but our students here have badges for lunch and we have badges for the buses. If your badge gets broken or lost for the bus, you need to let your teacher know as soon as you get to school so we can start making you a badge for the bus.
Okay. And that bus badge will cost $3 if you lose it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Social media, boys and girls, it's not just what happens at school. Sometimes we have parents or other students complain about things that they've seen on social media that is unkind. And so you are responsible for what you post on social media. Don't think that we won't ever see it, because parents and students do come to school with evidence of ugliness on social media. And you can have a consequence here at school, even though you did it, maybe posted it or did the video at home.
Bathroom procedures. We have signs in every one of the bathrooms to help you know what our expectations are in our bathrooms. Our voices are off in the bathroom. There is one thing that you're taking care of when you're in the bathroom, and your voice needs to be off during that time. Make sure you wash your hands with soap and water when you're finished, and you use a paper towel to dry your hands.
And if you see somebody not doing what they're supposed to do in the bathroom, please report it.
Absolutely.
Morning procedures. You come in, we greet you, we say hello, we're happy to see you every single morning. If you're going to get breakfast, you go straight away to the cafeteria, and then you exit and go back to your class. You eat your breakfast quickly, and then morning announcements will start. And then after up, we're ready for school.
Procedures. It's very important that you have a transportation card every afternoon. It's the biggest way that we keep you safe when you're going home on the bus or a car rider or walker or daycare or Club Rewind or shuttle rider. You must have your transportation card with you every day. And if you don't have a transportation card, your teacher will write you a temporary one. It might be a Post-it note. It might be an index card. Jaguars, you must put that in the correct envelope when you're leaving for the day, because that's how we know you got home that day. We also need you to be silent during dismissal. It's a busy time for us in the front of the school and in the back of the school, and the only way we know to communicate with your teachers and with you if there's a change to the buses is with the announcement system. And that's why we have to be completely silent during dismissal. You should have a book in your hand. You should be reading. You should have your voice off. You should be ready to listen to your teacher to get your transportation card and ready to go home.
Can I add one more thing about morning
Absolutely.
procedures that I forgot to say? Remember that if you bring any notes from home, that has to go to your teacher right away. She'll probably send you to the front office so you can turn that note in, or to the nurse, wherever you need to go with it. But make sure that if you have a note from home, it goes to your teacher first thing in the morning. All right. The Behavior Intervention Room, that is what the BERS stands for, and it has its own procedures. So if for some reason, unfortunate reason, that you have to go to the Behavior Intervention Room during the school year, you'll learn what those procedures are when you get there, but they may be different as if you were in your normal classroom, because part of being in there is having a consequence. And so the procedures and the rights that you have in there may be a little bit different than what you'd have in the classroom or the cafeteria.
Absolutely. Speaking of the bird, we have some consequences to talk about.
All right. So if you happen to get a bus report, depending on what happened on the bus, you could be removed from the bus. You certainly will probably have a warning of some kind that might include going to the behavior room. But if you get too many of these, or if you do something very, very serious on the bus, you could be removed from the bus. Hopefully it would only be for a day or two, but it could be up to 5 days. And if it continued, it could be for the rest of the school year.
Another consequence you could receive is a letter or a phone call home. If you break a rule at school, or if you are causing a disruption, your family will always find out. Either the teacher will call or send a letter home, or Miss Nicks or I will call and send a letter home, but we will definitely have to communicate with your family.
All right. Unfortunately, there are consequences if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, if you're not following those pause. That could be loss of your favorite recess activity. For example, if you love playing basketball every day, your teacher may tell you you can't play basketball today or for the rest of the week, depending on what happens. And you could also have an assigned seat at lunch.
I'm in our behavior intervention room, and Ms. already went over that.
Or if you get an office referral, it depends on what the office referral was for. We follow the code of conduct. There are different levels in the code of conduct of consequences of things that can happen to you. And it could be spending time in the behavior room, or it could also be out of school suspension. We do everything we can not to let that happen, but ultimately the choices are yours. You're in control of your behavior.
Learning opportunities when you're out of your classroom. We have lots of rewards that Ms. Nicks is going to go over.
Okay. First of all, you get to go out recess and hang out with your friends, spend time with your friends. You'd be in the classroom learning. You might get free time with a book. You also some teachers give free draw or other types of fun activities in the classroom that you can do. Ultimately, we want you to stay in school so that you will graduate, because that is going to ensure your success as an adult. And of course, we have our Jaguar Bucks continuing. Each teacher has a dojo point system set up, and they have their own classroom rewards in place for you, so you can earn rewards in class.
All right, Jaguars, let's get back on the screen, Miss Nicks. Where'd we go? We're flashing away. All right, Jags, thanks so much for listening to the Student Code of Conduct. By now, we've probably arrived in your room, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks, Jags.